Okay, we live in the crib vibing with Veto, man. I got a special guest in here, bro. I'm actually like super excited about this, bro,
What's up,
because
Veto?
my guy, bro.
How about it?
Man, hey, bro, just to have you here, bro, it's crazy, bro. Being that you like the pioneer of like urban radio for like the voice for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My generation growing up, bro.
Millennials and Generation Z is definitely the era that I've been a part of and still a part of actually.
Facts.
I do Streets 945 now, but yeah,
Word.
a lot of people remember me from Durty Boyz and
Yeah.
the Hot 107.9 and all that good stuff and Let Goes and Side Piece shout outs and all that
facts.
creative weird stuff I was doing, you know what I mean? So
Facts.
Yeah.
So talk to me, man. Tell me where the journey started. Like, where did it begin?
Oh,
you know
my
what I
God.
mean?
So my journey starts in California. Obviously,
Word.
I'm a Cali kid. And I got to Atlanta, and I'm trying to see if I can get the small version. The first people to embrace me in Atlanta was Big Oomp Camp.
Okay. Oomp Camp.
So,
Shout out to Oomp Camp.
Oomp Camp, Monte. I wasn't here for the DJ Jelly era.
Right.
I know them. I know of them, but
Right.
I got here during the DJ Monte era.
Okay.
So like, Boots with the Fur when he was producing all that,
facts.
Walk It Out and all that.
Facts.
And,
He's actually coming up here. Week after next?
that's my fam right there. I've been knowing Monte. Monte's the kind of guy like it would be me and him versus 100 dudes. It'd just be me and him versus 100 dudes.
Damn.
Like that's my dude. Like he knows I'm about that life. He used to have to stop me from fighting stuff like that. But yeah, man. So yeah.
Man, bro. So all right. So you moved here. You know what I mean, to Atlanta. Were you like what, like a teenager when you moved
I was a
here?
teenager, and what happened was, I was just getting my life, in order because I was just caught gangbanging in California, and I had, I just needed a life change, and at the time, my older brother and my older sister lived out here,
Right.
and so they was like, "Well, just come out here." I had nothing, homie. I had like, like clothes and a box.
Okay.
There was nothing, but I knew how to rap and I knew how to dance.
Right.
And so I was really good at dancing and rapping. Jay Nix would laugh when he tell people this. But I was really good at rapping and dancing. And like, so, I was in the club one time and doing my thing. And this girl hit on me. And I told her how old I was. She goes, "Oh, you too young. How you even get in the club?" She said, "You should come be an intern." I didn't have a fucking clue what she was talking about.
Intern for
the station. And I didn't know
okay.
what she meant. And then she was telling me. And then, and I went up there. And like 2 months later, I was on the radio.
That shit crazy. So it just happened like that.
A lot of things just came to me. Like I didn't know people was gonna like my voice.
Right.
I didn't know that, because I didn't go to school for this. I didn't go.
Right.
I just had natural talent. I tell people I went to NTU, Natural Talent University.
That's hard.
And then, but I was really good like with things sonically.
Right.
So sonic equipment, sonically things. I just could engineer and mix stuff really well, and I had a good voice and a personality, and it just took off.
Do you believe in like the art of manifesting things too, as well?
I don't believe speaking nothing into existence. I think that's stupid. I believe you got to live it.
Okay, live it. Okay.
Yeah, because people say stuff every day and no shit ever happen.
Right.
Because they're waiting for the moment. They think they can just put it in the air and then it just receive. And it's like, you're a moron. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. Tumbleweeds are in the air.
Right.
And they just roll on by if you don't go and catch it.
Man, facts.
So, I don't believe in that kind of stuff. I think you got to live into existence. It's one thing to pray about it.
Right.
It's another thing to write it down. It's another thing to like plan it out and then go do it.
Right, facts.
And I think all three of them have to be combined in order for it to happen.
Facts. Being that you're here in Atlanta and stuff like that, do you believe that Atlanta is a place where like dreams can come true if you work hard for that shit?
I think Atlanta's the best spot on the planet. If you ask me, if you can't make it in Atlanta, you just suck. And then here's the other thing too. Like everything is here. Right? You can go to Buford Highway and see East African restaurants, West African restaurants, Asian, Latin foods, like everything is here. The malls, the fashion,
facts,
movies,
right?
Like, what are we talking about now?
Facts.
I don't really need to leave. The weather's nice. The food is good.
Facts.
Right? You can go to the east side and there's a bunch of local farmers markets, so the food is good. You have a choice here. You can just do things. You know what I mean? So I told my mother I probably would live here and then travel everywhere else.
That's what I was saying too, because I moved here when I was 11. I was born in New Orleans, and then shortly after my birth, moved to New Jersey.
Yeah.
So I've been here basically all my like
Life.
teen and for sure.
I told T.I. that it wasn't like a joke, but it was kind of like something funny to laugh at. I was like, yeah, I'm from Cali, but I'm seasoned in the South.
Facts.
So like, you know, I'm the raw chicken from LA, homie, but like, you know what I mean? But my seasoning comes from the South. You know what I mean?
I always like, okay, I know that it was E.T. Cali.
Yeah.
But like, bro, like for my whole life, you've been
really
here.
Atlanta.
Like you've been here, bro. Like I ain't gonna cap. You've been here. So like when I think about Atlanta, and I think about people who were the voices who set the tone for like the playlist for our lives.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We had you gotta realize who I gave like first interviews to before y'all even like Future, Migos. Like we're playing them on Battlegrounds. We were told they were crazy. I gave 21 Savage's first like major interview, you know?
Real?
Yeah, I gave when Megan Thee Stallion, but when I left Hot 107.9 and I went to iHeart,
right.
One of the first interviews I did was Megan Thee Stallion before it was just her and her mother. It was just her and her mom there.
So she was like,
she was on her way to an open mic. She was already buzzing online.
Okay, I was gonna ask you.
Yeah, she was buzzing online, but she was buzzing like Texas online. And so she was on her way out here to be like the main performer at an open mic.
Damn.
That my boy Gambino was doing. And he was like, yo, can you interview her, bro? Like, help me out. I was like, yeah, I'll put her on the air, you know what I mean? And she was cool as crap.
Damn. So when you interview her, did you know like she got that it factor? You know what I mean? Like or did you see it? Did you see the vision that she was like?
I knew 21 had it.
Okay.
I fought for him. I knew Migos had it. I fought for them. I knew Nicki Minaj had it. Future is a student. You know what Future used to do?
Talk to me.
Future used to come to my clubs and sit there and stand next to me and just watch what was going on.
That's crazy.
He used to come. I didn't know he was going to be Future. He used to just be there with me at Obsessions, Club Obsessions. I don't know, people in Atlanta remember Obsessions on the East Side.
Facts. We were just talking about that with Pretty Boy Tank on
Yeah. So Tank was there with Spins, and they was like the main DJs, and I was the host. So like he would come to all my stuff. And at that time, this was so crazy. Like social media's been popping for so long.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, we were so big on social media, like Twitter, that
Twitter was
like the thing.
Yeah,
we used to have Twitter feeds live in the club where you could like if you tweeted something, it went on the screens.
Right.
So if you tweeted a video up, it went on the screens in the club
that's hard.
immediately.
Damn.
So it was like a Twitter feed live in the club, and that's where I started doing the game called ET Says, and you know, and everything else came after that, like Club Mansion, and you know, all this Studio 72. I've been doing like a lot of clubs in Atlanta. Figure 8.
Facts. Oh,
you know?
Yeah, man. Boy, we was just talking about Figure 8. Figure 8 was like that spot though. Like,
yeah, Figure 8 like kind of kicked off like I don't say kicked off my hosting because really that was Camp, but Figure 8 like I started getting like really legendary with the hosting thing.
Yeah.
Like making it a thing to be a host in Atlanta. You know, doing ET Says.
You the branding king, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like with the Let Goes and like
Let
all
Goes
that.
and Side Piece
like we gonna
shout-outs.
talk about that too. Like cause your mind, the way that you think, bro, is just like it's incredible, bro. The way that you put that together for like on air and stuff too.
It's tones and frequencies, and I don't read numbers. Numbers lie. So anyone who says numbers don't lie, just know that they're lying.
Damn.
So numbers lie every day. I work in the uncomfortable. So how do I put this? It's gonna be offensive, but
It's all good. It's all good. We on vibing with Veto. Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Like if you ask a woman how she feels about being called a bitch or a hoe in music, she'll generally give you the right answer, which is that it's disrespectful.
Right.
And that's true. It's disrespectful.
Right.
But if you want the real answer, you got to observe the behavior. And what does she do when the song comes on in the club?
Damn.
She doesn't give a damn because the environment allows for the disrespect. She's saying that. She's showing you that. So do I want to listen to what you want to say, or do I want to watch what you do? So I'm an observer. I don't care what numbers say. Numbers lie every day, right?
Damn.
People will say, people are trained to give you the right answer in any situation. How fast are you driving? What's the right answer?
You gonna say?
Oh, I didn't know I was speeding. You knew your ass was speeding.
Right.
You knew your ass was speeding.
Right.
You knew you was speeding. You knew your ass was in the phone. You didn't see the cop. You got busted. So that's fine. But I live in the world of the real answer. So I don't ask questions. I just observe.
Facts.
And the one thing I observed with side piece shout outs when I created that was that women cheat more than men. They're just better liars.
That's true. That's
They
true.
cheat way more than men.
That's true.
Of all ages. And if you listen to Side Piece Shoutouts, what I did was I said in the intro, which was, I can't remember the intro, it was years ago. The intro was basically saying, I said, calling here right now, tell me the first name of your side piece and what side of town they stay on, but don't say your name.
Damn.
85% of the people that called in were women.
That's crazy.
And they would say they would say and they would have multiple guys, and they were all ages, 16. We had a few grandmas calling there.
Grandma.
I shout out my side piece, Leroy.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Swear to God. And they would call in, and when men called in, it was always had one side piece.
Right.
When women called in, they had multiple. So
that's crazy.
And then because one thing, a woman, if you cater to a woman's feelings and her needs, you will always win in this business. So the fact that they could be anonymous and not be judged is catering to her feelings and needs.
Right.
She finally gets to vent.
Right.
Without someone calling her a hoe or,
Facts.
It's fun. I'm gonna make it funny on air.
Facts.
You know.
Damn, that shit crazy, man. Just growing up and just hearing y'all, bro. Again, y'all really were the soundtracks to everybody's like y'all was a playlist. If we going to the club, we getting ready. We listening to Durty Boyz. You know what I mean? So
the J Nix was so dope.
How did y'all link? I was gonna ask you that. How did y'all link?
They threw us together because he was already the man in St. Louis, and I was doing my thing in Atlanta. And at first, I was already known as a crazy man on the radio, so they didn't want to give me like my slot alone. So what they did at first is they tried J Nix with this other dude, and Jay was just not happy.
He wasn't rocking with it.
He was like, bro, because me and Jay were like vibing on the same wave or anything cool. He's like, and then they was like, fuck. And he put me with him. And I'm like a producing kind of like genius kind of guy. Like I'm into the production of stuff and ideas, and I don't listen to nobody else's show. So when we got together, it just clicked. Our first book, a book is how they do ratings. Our first book was number 1.
That's crazy.
Like our first time out the gate, just boom, number 1.
Damn.
So normally it takes like 2 or 3 years for people to get used to you, get adapt to you, and then you become, you get these good ass ratings. But our first book was like, and we ushered in the era of streaming. So everything that we did was online.
Damn, that's dope.
I don't know this era of only radio, only TV, like. Everything was already. So
was it like streaming on from like the app? I know
you could do. We had an app, but you could also. But back then they would say things like log on to www.da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
listen around the world.
Facts.
So we had people listening from Iraq, like military people that are from Atlanta.
Damn.
They'd go there and they'd be listening to us.
Damn.
And Europe, it was crazy, man. We used to do like 1 million listeners online every day. That wasn't
crazy.
even in Atlanta.
So talk to me about. Like, okay, so what made you, like, what part of your career were you at when you transitioned from Hot 107.9 to iHeart, then to Streets 94.5?
When I left Hot 107.9, it wasn't because I wanted to. I was looking for, like, a syndication. Like, we had been killing the game. You got to realize, we were killing the game. Like, argue with your mama, right? We were killing the game. Like, we were beating the shit out of V103. It wasn't even close. Streets 945, we were crushing them for years because Streets have been around for like 12 years. For like 6 of those years, my foot was in their ass. Damn. Argue with your mama.
Damn.
And I got the numbers to prove it. And then, so in radio, they don't do ratings based off genre.
Okay.
If you're on the air, they rate you against country stations, pop.
Based off of who you going up against.
It doesn't matter. Just the time slot. We were number 1 across the board.
Right.
So we were beating pop stations, country stations, alternative rock stations, talk radio, anything that was that, we were beating everybody.
Damn.
And we were when I left Hot, we had they do what's called share numbers, meaning a % of the market.
Right.
And what they do is they break down the average everyday listeners of the market per day based off an entire month. I hope I said that correctly.
Right.
And we were averaging almost, when I left Hot, we had a 15.8 share. 15.8 means we had almost 16% of 7 million people listening to us every day.
God damn. Damn, bro.
In Atlanta. That was our share number.
That's
crazy. And then we had another, million listeners online that were just streaming us. So that's kind of like where we were at. At one point in time, it was like, if you were up north, it was the Breakfast Club. If you was down south, it was the Durty Boyz. That was it. And so, trust me, I did not want to leave. But there were too many people that thought they knew better, that weren't the producers of the show. They weren't the creators of none of this shit. They didn't do none of this stuff, and they were in other people's ears, and lawyers saying this, and this person saying that. And then when I left and the show number started going down, because they went from a 15.8 share to like a 13 share, 12. I watched them when I left because I was the producer of the show.
Right.
I was the guy behind the boards, pressing the buttons, creating the sound.
Right.
So it's kind of like if Patrick Mahomes leaves the Chief and you throw somebody else in there as a quarterback.
Yeah, it's over.
They're a quarterback, but they're not going to throw the same way.
Right.
That's kind of like what happened. And that was the game. Everyone was playing a role. Like J-Nix was strip club shouty.
Facts.
He was in the clubs. Facts. He was in the strip club. But I was in the high schools, the college parties, mansion. Like I was handling this side while he was dealing with little dope boy dudes and stripper girls and all that kind of shit. Like
y'all was the best of both worlds.
Yeah. And then I came along and said, let me produce it all. So I produced whatever he was doing with that at the station. I produced on my side of stuff, right? So he was able. That was the thing. Well, when that's gone, it's gonna sound different,
Right.
And so it just went downhill.
So the name itself, right? Durty Boyz, right?
Yeah.
Is that name can only be used with Hot 107.9? Because my question was,
well, after I left, I sold the trademark back to him.
Oh, okay.
I owned the name.
Okay,
because I'm the one that paid for the Google search information, the logo design. I paid for that. Yeah, I own that trademark because I was setting us up to be syndicated.
Yeah.
And so that was my goal for us.
Right.
And it was just too many people in the air. And I was like, well, let me just get out of everyone's way.
Right.
I didn't want to bother nobody no more. Everyone just was mad at ET, so I just left. And then, everything worked out though. It's cool.
Right. So the way that the world is going now, like, people can be their own kind of radios, right? With podcasts and different things like that. Can we get like a reunion with you guys? Not under like the Durty Boyz name, but bring y'all back together and y'all probably do like a podcast or something.
We ever talked about that, man. Let me tell you something, bro. Stations call me all the time. Stations have called me for to come there. Don't think that these stations they've hit me. We've had meetings and we need you to come and do this, and they've tried to get me to come here and do that kind of stuff. Not necessarily with him, but just, can you come and do, what you did there? And I'm like, I got no problem with that. But, it's nothing like, why 98% of all podcasts fail?
Why?
Because people don't understand they don't understand tones and frequencies. Everyone doesn't understand that.
Talk to me about it, because I don't want my shit to fail.
No. Everyone doesn't understand that. A lot of it is how people perceive and receive things sonically.
Right.
So I didn't know that my voice would resonate with everybody of all ages.
Right.
I just generally have a way about myself that resonates with young and old people. Some people only resonate with old people. Some people only resonate with young people. Right. I have a voice like that.
Universal tone.
So tones and frequencies is how you win. So I would never sit there and say like Let Goes, right?
Right.
The way I got it, the way I branded it was I understood that sonically people would hear it a certain way and they would repeat it.
Let go.
Okay. Now imagine if I would have said it in a different tone and frequency. Like, for example, nobody wants to be called a bitch. Okay. Mm-hmm. But if you had to choose, you want to be called a bitch by DMX or Snoop Dogg?
Probably Snoop Dogg. That's probably what they would say. Oh, she said
DMX. She wants DMX. She like the violence. Yeah, talk to me dirty, nigga. Snoop Dogg is funny, right? Like, that's my bitch. It's more light in this.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what it is. And there's always a wrinkle in this business. The wrinkle that most people don't understand is that you can't just repeat. You can't just repeat what somebody else is doing and think it's going to win.
Right.
Because people don't understand the wrinkle in the game. The wrinkle in the game is it matters who it comes from. You cannot teach that in school. You cannot show that in numbers. And the problem, like a lot of radio stations and podcast people have, is they think they can just cut and paste and repeat. And they forget that it matters who it comes from.
Facts.
And nobody understands that part, and they don't teach that in school. They don't show that at,
right.
And that's the thing. So there's a lot of things that matter. Tone, frequencies, and of course, the last thing is who it comes from.
Nico, make sure you're writing this down. Cause this kind of like fell into place for me. Like I had gotten into a bad car accident early this year.
Okay.
And literally I was fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? I couldn't move around and shit. So, and we had a show the following month. So I was like, man, how we gonna promote this show when I can't move around for real? So I just started interviewing all of the artists that was on our show.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I really like this shit. And then I was like, let me just try it. And now I'm just starting to become like a magnet, folks that like yourself and everybody that
cool.
I looked up to that paved the way for me.
Fuck it, come on.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man. I mean, when I was coming up as an intern, the people that was cool with me, T.I., Gucci, Jermaine Dupri.
Dope.
They were just like, come on in, homie. Like, yeah, we fuck with you. I think being from California too, I don't know if you know your hip hop history as far as the West Coast and the South. We've always had like a musical connection. Okay. When before Master P was coming up, he was doing his thing in Oakland, Northern California. Mm-hmm. And then, there was love there with that. And then, when the West Coast got on, you gotta remember the West Coast was really the first ones to do like independent labels and independent stuff like that.
Facts.
NWA and all that kind of stuff. And then we went and signed our own people, and then we signed Southern people. Because the South was always embracing with West Coast music. So there was always so being from California, I kind of got like a little bit of a pass, a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Master P did that too when he came from the South to the West.
Because the South and the West Coast have always musically showed love. It was always, unfortunately, the heads in New York that was always like, yo, it ain't this, it ain't you. Fuck you, son. It's like, all right, bro, here you go. Put your Timbs on with your shorts, guy. Relax.
Let's talk about like independent artists, right? So I heard Coach K say one time, he was like, to break a record in radio, you need a minimum of 250,000.
100%.
Okay.
So let me tell you why. Because radio is not local. And there is no streaming platform. There is no streaming platform that pays money. Snoop Dogg just said it. Go look it up. There's nothing.
Facts. Yeah.
Okay. So, and you can fake those spins on,
like with the streaming farms and shit. I've been seeing that a lot too.
That's been around since MySpace days.
Damn.
So they've been running up numbers. That's why numbers lie. So, and that's why you're starting to see people that they're not selling out their tours because they don't have fans. What they have is viewers.
Oh, shit. Okay, I never thought about it like that.
Okay?
Damn.
They don't have fans. They have viewers.
Right.
When you're on traffic and you're in a traffic jam and you see a car accident, are you a fan of it or are you a viewer?
Right.
You're just viewing it. Right? So you don't know why they're viewing you.
Right.
It could be because you're ugly, your hair's messed up.
You're right.
I don't know.
It could be anything.
It could be anything. So, but you don't know that they're fans, and you don't even know how many people are actually viewing you.
Facts.
It's only going to count the computer. So what if most of the times if you're watching something, aren't you with someone else?
Facts.
So what if you're missing 3 other views? And right, who of those are actually fans?
Damn.
You don't even know.
They could just be watching it because the other person is watching.
And you can fake those spins. Radio, you cannot fake a spin. I cannot play it like on silent, on repeat.
Right. Facts.
And fake it. And the way radio does work is if the people are tuning out when your shit comes off, we got to change the record. Whereas on Spotify, you don't know if people really like it because they're just running up the numbers.
And they can put you on any type of like playlist. Like sometimes you may get automatically spins because you're on certain playlists. You know what I mean?
So people might check your stuff out, but they're not actual fans. So numbers lie in that perspective. And radio pays because of publishing checks.
Right.
It's ridiculous. It's not even kind of close.
Facts. What are some of the avenues, I mean to cut you off, what were some of the avenues like independent artists can take if they don't have that bag? I mean, getting hot, but it's like, okay.
Well, I tell artists, like, don't think about it as money, but think about it as time. So if someone has a $500,000 budget, right, and you don't, then you don't think of it as a thing of like, well, I got my shit's old. It's old to you. No one knows your music.
Right.
And just because you put it out on a platform for it to be streamed does not make it old because no one's heard it.
Damn.
It's old to you.
Not to the world.
Not to the world.
Damn.
So, I think a lot of people need to remember that and take the time. So if you got a single and it takes, Little Baby 2 months to pop the record, it's going to take you 7-8 months to pop your record. You got to be a little bit more creative and consistent about pushing it.
Right.
I used to have a segment called Battlegrounds for new artists.
Facts.
Nobody
Facts.
has that no more in radio because
it's like
everyone. I'm trying to bring it back now that I'm over there at Streets 945. There's a lot of things we're talking about.
Cause that really helped. That really helped artists. Like I remember I heard Rich Kid's "What's Up" on there first.
Listen, Versace was on there.
Yeah.
Bando was on there.
Damn.
Soulja Boy Yule was on there.
Facts.
Young Dro, Shoulder Lean was on Battlegrounds. Like, we put 21 Savage on Battlegrounds. We put all these artists, Future stuff before he was major was we put him on Battlegrounds because these guys were buzzing online and in the streets. There was a combination. Now people are just so lazy they just want to do it online
on the internet. I was gonna say that. Yeah.
You have to do the combination. You have to do the groundwork and both. You have to do both. I don't understand where the disconnect happened.
Right.
But you have to do both. That's why so many you see all these gold and platinum artists now,
right,
that nobody's ever heard of.
I was gonna ask you about that too.
They suck. No one has ever heard of you. You just got a gold and platinum. Okay, so when you get a certain amount of streaming numbers, that's considered a sale.
A sale.
So if you got a streaming farm, you can run those numbers up, and that's considered a sale.
Right.
So it just shows up on Billboard like, yo, you sold, however many thousand or whatever, and it looks like, okay, well, you've gone platinum.
Facts.
Who are you?
And nobody never
heard. I have no clue, bro.
Damn, this shit is crazy. So how do you feel about like the state of hip hop in Atlanta? I asked Pretty Boy Tank the same thing last week when he was on here. Like,
that's my dude.
Right now, like, Atlanta used to be like, okay, every week you got a new artist that's just popping. Because I mean, again, with the help of the radio and different people that was in place.
There was a good combination before.
So how do you feel like these new artists, like just the sound sonically and everything of Atlanta right now?
When people like Lil Baby come out, it saves us a little because it used to be like people would kind of copy. Remember when Amigos first popped out?
Facts.
And people copy their like
their
rap
flow
pattern.
Yeah, facts.
Their flow. Like now people are just biting anything.
Damn.
And their excuse is, I'm just trying to get on. And it used to be you had to be so dope that you got on. But now it's just, let me just replicate you. I'll call it influence instead of biting, and then I'll get on. So that's what's happened, is they're just repeating someone's rap pattern, saying pretty much the same stuff, which is fine, but it dilutes the value of everything else.
Facts.
And then what do you think? I want you to think about the run that Drake is having.
Drake, man.
Name another artist this guy's been through different eras.
Right, facts.
Okay? And been super successful.
Facts.
One, he's got a good tone and frequency, so he sounds like ageless.
Right.
And whatever song, I don't care if he's writing or whatever, it doesn't matter. Him or whatever, he's able to pull it off. If you want, he can pull off battle rap dissing you, harmonizing, I wouldn't really call it singing.
Right.
Harmonizing. And then he can also make a sensitive song.
Facts.
Right? There's not a lot of artists in the history of the game that have been able to do that. Tupac was one of them, right?
He definitely was.
Could love your mama.
Facts.
Help Brenda, and then fuck your bitch. Like that was like, you know what I mean? And then be a poet, and then go do like 4 movies, all before the age of 25, by the way. Let's be clear here. That's why I don't like when people compare themselves.
Facts.
It's like, bro, calm down. You did a couple of records. You're not Pac.
Right.
But yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm always gonna have hope for Atlanta because I'm here.
This is where we at.
And it's where we at, and I'm always gonna hope because Atlanta is the sauce where everyone steals from. We're the vine that everyone comes to pick the fruit from. You know,
that's real.
But it's gonna take people to understand the difference between being a rapper and making a song. Understand that it's okay to be different, and just go out on a limb and see what you sound like.
Right.
And you don't have to comply or conform to what you think is winning. Fact. Because a lot of the times, because it looks a certain way, it don't taste a certain way.
It ain't that same thing.
Yeah.
It ain't that same. Not the same ingredients, man.
No.
That's crazy, man. But nah, man, I really appreciate you sitting down with me, man. Coming to vibe with Veto, man. Can you tell, like, people that's trying to do what you've done, the accolades that you have, can you give them some type of tips or pointers or something like that that can help them out, even for myself? Because you sitting here right here is an honor, like I told you, bro.
I just tell people, find their sound, find a way to stand out, you know? I'll give you this tip. Don't worry about trying to do an interview. Worry about doing conversations.
Facts.
When I talk with people, I'm just conversating. When I did my interview with Nipsey Hussle, we were just talking. It wasn't.
Damn, talk about that experience, bro.
It was.
You see who I got on my leg, man.
Oh, that's my dude.
Damn.
That my dude, man.
How was that?
That was good and sad after he passed, because it was like months later he got killed.
Right.
But yeah, that was dope. Nipsey, even behind the scenes, is dope. We had a good conversation. I had a chef come up there and cook for him, and so he got to feed. He was like, man, I ain't never got no.
You sound like him too.
No treatment like this, homie. When you come to LA, you know, I'm gonna lay out the red carpet for you like you did for me.
Bro, you sound just like him, bro. Damn. That shit crazy.
That's what he said to me. So I was like, okay, you know, so we exchanged information, and yeah, it was a dope interview. We got to talk about Dr. Sabi in the interview. But I've interviewed a lot of dope people, man. I've been blessed, man. Like I'm 50 Cent and you know, Lauren London. I've interviewed so many people, man. I've interviewed Congressman Johnson. I've interviewed strippers. I've interviewed, you know, up and coming artists who never made it.
Right.
I you know, my door's been open for like a lot of different people, man. I just think that you're supposed to do that in this business.
Facts. And before we get up out of here, I got one last question. What was your fondest moment thus far in radio?
Twerk Tuesdays.
Explain to the people what Twerk Tuesdays was.
I had trademarked this thing called Twerk Tuesdays that I did at iHeart. And what it was, so the idea, again, I'm a guy that comes up with show concepts. So coming up with show concepts is easy for me. I hate the 5 o'clock traffic jam.
Damn.
Hate it.
Damn.
Because everyone does a 5 o'clock traffic jam.
Facts.
Rush Hour Max. Boring.
Right.
So I did this thing where I was like, you know, I'm gonna do a different theme on different days. Fuck it. So Tuesday was gonna be Twerk Tuesdays. I had Love and Ladies Thursdays for R&B. We're gonna do R&B versus trap as a mix show.
Right.
At the 5 o'clock hour. And I called it the anger management mix.
Okay.
So versus just mixing. If someone pissed you off in traffic, you could call in and be like, "There's this motherfucker in a Honda in front of me," and then kind of like go off on him. It was like anger management. Like I'm helping you release your stress.
Right.
So it's funnier at 5 o'clock because that's what people are in their cars screaming and so now you got a place to vent. So that was my creation. Twerk Tuesdays was a thing that I applied to the anger management mix.
Okay.
So anger management mix was every day, but Twerk Tuesdays was the day where we were playing nothing but dance music.
Okay, cool. I was going to ask you, how you intertwine that?
So this is what I did. I would interview strippers during the mix show. And I had a stripper pole in my studio. And you could watch it live on my IG page and cash app them $1.
That's hard, bro.
So I'd be on the air like, yeah, we in this thing right now. iHeart, you know, world's best host, ET, man. It's Twerk Tuesdays. Who I got in the building right now, baby? And she would start telling me where she danced at, whoop, 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 and she got some shop. I'm like, you gonna get on that pole right now? Yeah. And my DJ was mixing because it's the 5 o'clock mix. So like we in that time where he's allowed to mix. So I didn't have to do nothing. I put the camera right there. There was a stripper pole that the studio put in there for me. iHeart put it in there. People think I did.
Damn, that's crazy.
They put it in there because I came up with the concept and they was like, you want to put a stripper pole in here? I was like, yeah.
Damn, iHeart lit, bro. That's
was
crazy.
like, yeah, they put lights and everything in that shit.
Damn.
I had disco ball, everything. Listen, I got a video of the Braxtons on the stripper pole. I got a video, nigga. I got a video.
What the fuck?
I got a video of, remember when, what's her name was like, Stevie, I never go back to the pole.
Oh, yeah.
I got a video of her on the pole. Bro, I got everybody.
You a legend, bro.
I got everybody on that pole, bro. And then, the girls would go on there and they would do like 5-minute dances, come back, do another interview, like quick break, get back on the pole. And they would make like $1,200 in like 5 minutes because
people just cash
app them $1.
That's hard, bro.
You know what I mean? And you could watch it. So that was the wrinkle that I changed within the ordinary 5 o'clock traffic jam, boring. I don't know how people do it.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Just like sitting here, you just gave me so much game and just like, bro, like Dog, thank you, bro.
It's all good. Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you, man. Hey, this has been another episode with Vibing with Veto, man. I got my homie E.T. Tell them where they can find you, bro.
You could find me at your girls. I'm just playing. I will be E.T. Cali, E-T-C-A-L-I, Streets 945, Mr. Afternoons, every day 2 to 6. Stream me around the world, you know what I'm saying? And you need to get a doorbell.
A doorbell?
Yeah. So when people get ready to walk in, they press the button and it says, Vibing with Veto.
Write this down, bro. Bro, damn.
Like a doorbell that said, and it sounds like that. Like,
that's hard, bro.
Hey, who's at my door? And they press the button instead of going ding dong, it goes, Vibing with Veto.
Bruh. And we gone. We gone. Right off of that, we gone, bruh.